5 here. Team Pau up 22-20 when Jose Alvarado would go for the dagger.
Alvarado into the front court. Alvarado dribbling. Alvarado on the left, gets to the corner, defended well by Grimes to Matherin. Matherin gets into the corner to Alvarado, floating three, so the win is good! Jose Alvarado and Team Pau winning the Jordan Rising Stars.
So Alvarado hits the winner, and Team Pau takes the Rising Stars game championship trophy, 25-22 over Team Joaquim in the final. Jose Alvarado, the Rising Stars game's MVP, and after it was all said and done, he jumped on ESPN Radio.
Guys, I had to pull Jose away from Brandon Ingram. Zion is here lining up, waiting to talk to Jose as he daps him up right now. Zion, how you?
I feel great. My boy called it. He said he was going to do it. He delivered. Respect. Hey, gamer. Go home.
What does it mean to you that so many teammates, former, current, are here and are just like, I want to show love to you in this moment as the MVP of the Rising Stars game?
Oh, man, it means a lot. You know, this is more than basketball to me, and that's just my brothers. You know, they're part of my family. And, you know, for them to come out, you know, take time out, you know, this is a long season basketball to come out to see me play. And, you know, it's just an honor. You know, it's just a tremendous speechless, and I'm thankful they're here.
This is beautiful. There are players, your teammates are lined up. They roll deep. Brandon,
Possible!
That's Brandon Ingram. Everybody's taking turns. Why do you think people are so happy for you? What is it about who you are as a person, a player, and a teammate?
I care. You know, I'm a big carer. I care for people. It's not about me. You know, it's about, you know, this organization, the team. I'm a human being at the end of the day. So I care about these guys. They're not just basketball players to me. So, you know, I think they think that they feel that energy, and they give me the same energy.
Speaking of energy, what was the energy that you felt stepping into that game-winning three-point shot that you hit?
Oh, no, I wanted it. I said I needed the ball, and they got me the ball, and I knew I was going to make it, so soon I could let it go.
You know, when you think about your career journey and all that you've done to be steady and be great in the league, and now to come to All-Star and win MVP at the Rising Stars game, what is the significance of this moment in your overall journey?
Oh, man, it's tremendous. I don't even know how to really explain it. You know, I got my family behind me, my brothers and my daughters and stuff. So this is something I'm gonna cherish for life, and man, this is special for me. You know, I know it's something different for me, but man, I'm happy. You know, I love it. You know, it's something that I can really say that I did before, and tell everybody anything is possible. You know, I wasn't that guy everybody looked up to, and I wasn't that guy everybody, you know, counted that it was gonna make it to the NBA. I'm in All-Star Weekend and I got MVP, so you know, I don't care about them no more.
That's so well said. I see the tears in your eyes. I see your family lining up. I think that's the beautiful way to leave this. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you, fellow New Yorker as well.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, NBA All-Star Weekend continues with State Farm All-Star Saturday night. Radio coverage presented by Indeed begins tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Hey, still ahead, we'll check in on Tiger Woods at the Genesis Invitational. Plus, Eric Bieniemy is on the move. The Chiefs' two-time Super Bowl champ offensive coordinator headed to Washington, where he'll call plays for the Commanders. Plus, one of baseball's biggest stars said he plans on opting out of his deal after the season. This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why the last 23 games of the Lakers season will define Anthony Davis' Laker future. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is Sports Center all night.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials. Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch. And no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, "I bought one pair of loungewear and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee." Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
This morning on ESPN Radio. It's a critical showdown in the Big Ten. Illinois heads to Bloomington, Indiana to face the 14th-ranked Hoosiers. Coverage begins at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Greeny.
I believe if he announced today his return, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
What if I told you, in Iran, women are banned from going to soccer games?
Mom, take the ball. I love you.
For 43 years, Iranian women have fought back. Police pushed us.
Troops.
This is their story.
The joy was forbidden. What is the meaning of that? That is how they control you.
I'm Shimol Yai. Listen to the new 30 for 30 podcast, Pink Card. Available now.
Mike Greenberg, Greeny.
Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. I've seen what those guys have turned into when you put the right coaching and right pieces around them. Why couldn't Justin Fields be that? He is more developed at this point than Jalen Hurts was at the same point in his career. I don't see why Justin Fields might not be that if Chicago puts some of the right pieces around him.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
It feels like his maturity is stunted at a certain point. As someone who I think I see a little bit of this curiosity that Kyrie has, I see that in myself.
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast. Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
Derek Carr is a very good quarterback. If the Jets pass on Derek Carr because they think they can get Aaron Rodgers, that is a stupid decision. To take that risk, you are telling your fans that they might have to be okay with Zach stinking Wilson as your quarterback. That's bad football management. If you got a chance at improvement, go improve your damn team.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
You asked Harry and asked his dad who's the best athlete that he ever coached. And I'm not to my horn. I was 5'9", blazing fast, and I could do everything.
Deion Branch joins us, Super Bowl MVP.
I think the NFL was going to miss Tom. We'll be pretty satisfied with what's behind.
Joined now by Hall of Fame coach Bill Parcells.
I'm not trying to embarrass this guy because he's sitting there. But one thing I loved about Keyshawn, he would do every dirty job you asked him to do. He would do things that other receivers wouldn't do.
Sauce Gardner, Jets corner. Is there anybody you'll be actively recruiting this offseason to try and get him to come play with you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Y'all just got to stay tuned. I don't really know.
Ooh, look at Sauce trying to give us a little sauce, but not all of it. Okay, Sauce.
How that works.
The biggest names in sports come here, and it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
SportsCenter all night. Glad you're with us on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Tiger Woods playing in an official PGA Tour event for the first time in more than 7 months. It is likely to be around for the weekend at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club Woods was on the cut line and tied for 60th when play was suspended because of darkness on Friday. The top 65 will advance to play in the final 2 rounds. Play will resume around 10:10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. Here's what Tiger had to say about his day 2 performance.
Did not putt well today. I blocked a lot of putts early. And this is probably the highest score I could have shot today. Probably should have shot 5 or 6 better than this easily. Just to make the putts early in the middle part of the round when I had those opportunities. And they weren't very hard putts. I just hit bad putts. And then obviously I had a very bad finish too.
Max Homa, atop the leaderboard, holds a 1-shot lead heading into today's action. Well, less than a week removed from the Super Bowl and conclusion of the NFL season. Oh, come on. The NFL never sleeps. The big news out of the National Football League Friday. The Washington Commanders have finalized a deal to make Eric Bieniemy the team's new offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Sources told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. The sides agreed on a 2-year deal that includes a promotion in title, contractual structure, and a pay raise. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Bieniemy spent Friday talking to Washington's current assistants and will speak with the rest Saturday. According to sources, he's expected to be in Washington for an introductory news conference next week. Now, Bieniemy spent the past 5 seasons as the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, helping oversee an offense that powered 2 Super Bowl championships, including one last weekend. So why did Bieniemy choose now to make this move? ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards joined SportsCenter Friday night to weigh in.
When you boil it all down, I think Eric will be on his own. He won't be under Andy Reid anymore. People can't say, well, Andy Reid's calling half the offenses. It'll be Eric Bieniemy. Now, he's in a tough spot because he's at a place right now going to Washington. Last year they were talking about maybe selling the team. He's in a good spot with the head coach, Ron Rivera, because he's a defensive-minded guy. He will let him run the offense. And if he can do anything with this offense to get it going, it's been terrible in the last couple of years. They can't score points. If this thing gets going, that is a big plus for Eric Bieniemy. So this is what he's got to deal with. Is life fair? Life has never been fair. Has it been fair to Eric Bieniemy so far, trying to get a job as a head coach? No. But hopefully he can be successful in Washington, and he'll finally get an opportunity to become a head coach.
Bieniemy has interviewed for several head coaching jobs over the past 4 off seasons without receiving any offers. This year he interviewed for the Indianapolis Colts head coaching position, but that job went elsewhere. So did Bieniemy need to make this move to become a head coach? The ESPN NFL insider Jeff Darlington on SportsCenter.
I think that Eric Bieniemy also recognized that maybe it was time for him to move on. Fair or unfair, it feels like he's going to now be the play caller of the Washington Commanders as their offensive coordinator, and will do so without the shadow of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Look, I understand what everybody's wondering. First of all, why would he be leaving the Chiefs? Second of all, why can't he get a head coaching job? Both of those answers, I guess, are the same in that he will leave the Chiefs. He will continue to prove his value as a play caller. And now perhaps with success, he would be able to get that job.
Perhaps having full command of the play calling in Washington will net Bieniemy a coveted head coaching position in the NFL, but many feel like he's already deserving, including ESPN's Harry Douglas. Here's what he had to say about the coordinator on the move on Fitz and Harry.
Do you look at a guy in Eric Bieniemy, since he became the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're just about first in every category offensively. And they've been phenomenal. They lose Tyreek Hill this season. Patrick Mahomes had to become a better quarterback, all-around quarterback, and, diversify the football to different guys and not just lock in on 2 guys. And Eric Bieniemy was able to help him with that transition. He should not be having to go interview to somebody for an offensive coordinator job. He should only be doing interviews. And quite frankly, I feel like the interview process for head coaching jobs should still be going on. He should be a head coach already right now.
Good chance Eric Bieniemy is a head coach in the near future, but for now on the move and the next offensive coordinator for Ron Rivera, they're the Washington Commanders. In baseball, teams making their way to spring training to get ready for the upcoming season. Carlos Correa had a roller coaster offseason, but there's another all-star infielder that could be on the move at the end of 2023.
So far this year, I'm a project, but who knows after next year? I know, obviously the team knows where I stand in my situation and, with the opt-out coming. And, I think I've expressed that I will be opting out after this year, but I think my focus is not about 2024. I think my focus is about 2023, what I can do to this ball club, what I've done for this organization, and, what we're going to continue to do here. I think we got something special here growing, and, I don't think anything's going to change.
Still to come, more from the opening night of NBA's All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake City, plus the latest from the offseason quarterback chatter in the NFL. This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio.
Greeny. I believe if he announced today his retirement, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern. Tomorrow on ESPN Radio, the spotlight turns to the NBA's best.
Here comes Showtime with the hammer. Antetokounmpo rocks the rim.
Team LeBron and Team Giannis go head-to-head in the NBA's 72nd NBA All-Star Game in Salt Lake City.
James, 3, left side. That's good. LeBron James.
The NBA All-Star Game, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
People who watch basketball, no one thinks the Lakers are winning a championship this year, right? And I'm sure that includes LeBron and the Lakers.
I really do believe that the Lakers have reached the pinnacle of their season. And the pinnacle of their season is when LeBron James passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't believe that the Lakers are making any kind of run. No magical run. You have LeBron James playing through this sore foot that stuff around LA about whether he's not going to shut it down. LeBron James is not going to shut it down. He is a fighter through and through. I do continue to question the health of Anthony Davis and whether he can get back to playing at a top 5 level in the league. And I think as these pieces are better pieces than what they had before, I still see this team being, an 8 seed, a 7 seed who goes out or has an exit in the first round. Or most they'll ever get is to the Western Conference semifinals. I still don't see them being a contender.
Key, Jay, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
It really seems to boil down to Devin Booker. How is this going to work with him? How is that dynamic going to work? To have this level of talent with him on the team is a first.
You're taking a back seat. Stop, don't sugarcoat it.
You're taking a back seat. He's a tremendous
The last 5 minutes of the game, who are you getting the ball to, Carlin?
There's
the
no
last
question.
5 minutes of the game, I have going to Kevin Durant.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. Do you feel like your streaming subscriptions are out of control? Why not start the new year off right and cancel the ones you're not using? Enter the Rocket Money app. Rocket Money organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. From there, decide whether to keep it or cancel it with just a tap. To find out more about Rocket Money, go to rocketmoney.com/gameday or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Rocket Money, the finance app that works for you.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com/sports. Identity theft protection starts here.
This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Thanks for staying up all night with us. You're tuned in to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
Well, Eric Bieniemy is headed to the Washington Commanders, where he will become the franchise's next offensive coordinator. Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, Greg Popovich headline a loaded Hall of Fame class finalist list. And Jose Alvarado takes MVP at the NBA's Rising Stars event on Friday.
Alvarado into the front court. Alvarado dribbling. Alvarado on the left, gets to the corner, defended well by Grimes to Matherin. Matherin gets into the corner to Alvarado, floating three, so the win is good! Jose Alvarado and Team Powell winning the Jordan Rising Stars.
Well, New Orleans Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado made three-pointers a theme on Friday and clinched the 25-20 win for Team Powell over Team Joakim in the title game of the Rising Stars event Friday at All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake City. Alvarado, the MVP of the event, had 5 points in the title game, and the win capped a memorable day for Pau Gasol, who was named a Basketball Hall of Fame finalist earlier on Friday. ESPN Radio's Mark Kestisher and PJ Carlesimo had the call, and after the game, broke it all down. What to make of Friday night in Salt Lake City.
Chris, thank you very much. The best first and second year players the NBA has to offer. We have number one picks. We have reigning rookies of the year. Jose Alvarado, PJ, who went undrafted in the 2021 draft, has worked himself into the rotation with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's the MVP and hits a game-winning three in the championship game.
Well, he's an important player for the Pelicans and all the success they've had. I mean, it's a little scary to think. Brandon Ingram's missed a bunch of games. Obviously, Zion out, and the Pelicans have hung in. Willie Green, David Griffin have done a fantastic job there. Jose Alvarado's a good story. Easily, the MVP could have been Quentin Grimes for Team Joakim. He played really well both games. Evan Mobley impressed, as did Josh Giddey. Paolo Banchero played like the leading scorer, leading rebounder. He leads almost every category for rookies. Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley are really impressive to me. Second-year guys playing for, teams that are competitive night in and night out, and those guys are really a real reason why. Ben Matherin was really impressive in the first game. A lot of good play by players on all four teams. I like the format an awful lot. We'll see what they tweak it, continue to tweak it a little bit going forward, but a really good format and an excellent Friday night opening for Salt Lake City.
Well, as NBA All-Star Weekend rolls into Saturday and then the All-Star Game itself on Sunday, the players that are more established to the all-timers like LeBron James coming up on Sunday. But this is always a benchmark game on Friday night, and it's always a check of the league's health, and it's a big A+. There are some outstanding players that are on the come.
These first 2 years are strong, very strong players, will continue to be that. I love to see John Stockton, Spencer Haywood, the great legends that are here. And I like to see exactly what Roz was talking about, teammates coming to support their young guys in this game.
Well, that'll do it for the opening night of All-Star Weekend. Team Powell, the winner of the Jordan Rising Stars, and Jose Alvarado, the game-clinching triple. He was also named the most valuable player. For PJ Carlesimo, I'm Mark Kestisher, right here for your home for the NBA, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Now let's send it back to Chris Sylvester in the studio.
No, good stuff, fellas. Lots to come in Salt Lake City this weekend. Skills Challenge, dunk contest, three-point contest later on today. Then it's Team Giannis, Team LeBron on Sunday in the 72nd NBA All-Star Game. And while the NBA All-Star break isn't exactly a halfway point of the season, it serves as a chance to look back at the pre-All-Star break portion of the NBA year. Last week's trade deadline brought plenty of big transactions, including Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns. KD yet to make his Suns debut, still working back from a knee injury he suffered last month. But the expectations are high in the desert. Championship high? That's the question. Jason Fitz on Fitz and Harry thinks that's the case.
It is absolutely clear that there is no team in sports right now with more pressure on them today to win than the Phoenix Suns. It's not even close, Harry, and it has everything to do with their trade deadline acquisition of KD. We all know that, but also of their roster, of the moment, of what you're trying to accomplish today, and the year-by-year nature of the NBA. I just can't imagine kicking the can down the road and not realizing that right now the only thing that matters is you got a big four. Not a big two, not a big three. You got a big four. And if all four of them can come together, you should win a championship. It's an expectation.
Well, the Suns have their own big three now, if you will. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Kevin Durant. Shoot, maybe swap Paul and Ayton if you're narrowing down to a big three with that roster. But Jay Williams on Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max thinks KD's relationship with the two vets will make or break Phoenix the rest of the way.
First off, this might be the best all-midi team of all time.
The all who?
All midi. So in who we say that's a midi, like the midi game. Like look, like the move right there on E2 right now.
Yeah, mid-range
like
game.
Between Devin Booker, between CP3, between KD. It's the best all mid-range team of all time.
Yeah, you said
like they can get to their spots whenever they want. Ain't nobody stopping it. The personality clashing between like Devin Booker is always going to be a little bit passive. He's a killer, but a silent one, right? The personality traits between KD and CP3 are inevitably going to butt heads. How CP3 manages the relationship between Devin Booker himself and Kevin Durant when it comes down to when you need a bucket, who do you dispel the ball to? It's going to be one of the most fascinating things to watch when we get to the last 25 games of the season after All-Star break.
Well, Durant will miss tomorrow's All-Star game, but hopes to be back early in the post-All-Star break portion of the season. Giannis Antetokounmpo left Thursday's Bucks win over Chicago with a sprained wrist in the first half, but the two-time MVP isn't ruling out an appearance in Sunday's All-Star game. The ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski with the latest on the Bucks star on NBA Today.
This was a painful injury. He wants to play in that All-Star game on Sunday. It is important to him as a captain and as somebody who just takes the responsibility really seriously. He's going to get it looked at again today, I'm told. You know, obviously got another 24 hours through Saturday and then the game on Sunday. But his intention is to try to find a way to play. And the one thing you know with Giannis Antetokounmpo, he has an amazing ability to come back quicker from injuries than almost anybody else. You see it during the season and routine times, but also, of course, you remember in the finals coming out of the Atlanta series when you thought he might be out 4 to 6 weeks, he wins the MVP in the finals. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, get it examined again today and try to do everything he can to be out there on Sunday.
So while Giannis' status is up in the air, there's a lot of guys excited to play in the All-Star game Sunday, including first-time All-Star De'Aaron Fox, who detailed how and when he heard he had been selected to Sunday's game.
I was very grateful. We were actually headed to shoot around at home, and Vivek, our owner, actually called me. So this is like 9:30 a.m. He called me to let me know. So I was definitely grateful, but we were ready. We were getting ready for a game, so I was locked in.
Now, Fox and the Sacramento Kings, perhaps the biggest surprise of the NBA season's first half. They sit third in the Western Conference with a 32-25 record, trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2006. De'Aaron Fox had a lot of praise for first-year head coach Mike Brown.
I think it's changed not only just our team or the players. I think it's changed the entire organization, the way the city looks at the organization as well, from top to bottom. And whenever he got here, that was the first thing he said. He said, we need to be in line from ownership all the way down to the last person on the bench, to the staff. And that's what he's brought. He's brought just a level of consistency, a level of urgency. And he's kind of just changed everybody. And I try to tell people all the time that, you know, obviously people think about the 16 years. I've been here for 6 years, but a lot of these guys, this is their first year here. So I don't want to have that burden on them.
Tune into college basketball action today. Indiana hosts Illinois. Coverage begins 11:30 a.m. Eastern on select ESPN radio stations. SportsCenter all night, ESPN radio, and the ESPN app. Friday's big NFL news. Eric Bieniemy headed from Kansas City to Washington. He will be the Commanders' new play caller. And while many expected Bieniemy's next move to be for an NFL head coach position, it's a chance for Bieniemy to be out of Andy Reid's shadow, and a move that could put Bieniemy next in line to be a head coaching candidate next offseason. Now, it's more than just members of the media who feel Bieniemy is already deserving of a bigger role. Chiefs wide receiver Sky Moore, who caught a touchdown late in last weekend's Super Bowl, joined Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max to give another endorsement to his outbound offensive coordinator.
Man, that's my dog. That was my I just had an exit meeting with him. I think a couple days ago. He was my last one. I was in there for like an hour and a half. That Coach EB, man, he's a big reason of why we do what we do over here. He kind of like sets the culture over here, and it doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like he definitely deserves a head coaching spot, and when it will come, I don't know, but it definitely should be on the way for sure.
While Bieniemy will certainly be missed in Kansas City, after all, they do have that Patrick Mahomes guy. Yeah, he's pretty good. NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Sky Moore weighed in on what it's like playing with the now two-time Super Bowl champion quarterback.
It's one of those situations where, like, you should never get covered. Even though as a receiver you should never get covered anyway, right? You should always be open.
Facts.
But you'll never be out of, like, the play's never over. So like there's never you'll never be out of Pat's range. Like you could go off script so quick and he'll know what you're doing, and it'll look like the play. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It depending on the look, y'all could be on the same page by just he basically will tell you to just get open, and he'll have the ball there, and that's just the biggest luxury of having a quarterback like him, because you guys can go off script so fast and look like you was on the whole time.
Well, lots of stability at the quarterback position for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes locked in long term. But many questions remain elsewhere at that position in the NFL, including the 2019 NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. Keyshawn Johnson on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max weighed in on the latest between the Ravens and their star quarterback.
There's a theory in my mind that says, well, I wonder if he could have played down the stretch and went back and reflected on the way that they treated him in the offseason and into the start of the season by not taking care of the money side of it. And he realized at the end of the day, you know what, bump this. I'm not about to get out there and injure myself even more or put on a poor performance and have them question who I am as a quarterback. So I'd rather let them roll out there, limp out there, and see exactly what they have in me. And that's kind of the theory, that they rolled out Huntley and it didn't go as well as they would have thought because Lamar was sidelined. And if Lamar would have played and played bad, then they could have used it against him. So he decided to say, you know what, I'm going to heal all the way up. I can play, but I'm going to heal all the way up. It's just that in my mind. It just started to go there over the last month or so.
Well, while the Ravens are mulling their offseason options, the Jets have been linked to just about every quarterback on the market. Chris Canty, co-host of Canty and Carlin, jumped on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max to touch on the Jets' offseason approach.
The Jets got to go for a quarterback, and they need certainty at that position immediately. Beggars can't be choosers. I don't think they leave any stone unturned when it comes to the prospective quarterbacks that are available via trade or free agency. If we're being honest, I think the Jets should be in on a Derek Carr conversation too. I mean, you bait all the hooks and you reel in whichever one bites first. I think that's the direction that you go. Here's the thing. Everybody keeps talking about waiting on Aaron Rodgers or waiting on Lamar Jackson, and that sounds all well and good. But you got a general manager and a head coach that are going in 2023 on notice. If they don't have more competent quarterback play, if they strike out on Lamar and Aaron Rodgers, chances are they ain't going to be around in 2024. So they have to lock in a quarterback, and whichever one of those guys says yes first, that's the guy you go with.
Derek Carr is certainly a possibility for New York, but might Aaron Rodgers be a viable option if he becomes available? Rodgers' camp has been mum on a decision about his future as of early Saturday morning. But how long can Green Bay and others afford to wait around for the four-time MVP? ESPN front office insider Mike Tannenbaum on Greeny.
Yeah, that's the tough part, right? At least if you're Green Bay, you're seeing, shades of improvement from Jordan Love. So to me, I want to do everything I can to get an answer ASAP. If I'm another team, I've already asked for permission a month ago. So behind the scenes, I want to see if he's interested in playing it and realistically if we have a chance at him.
Lots of moves to be made, lots of decisions to be made. But again, still an NFL offseason less than a week old. Still ahead, some fun finishes on the ice Friday night. Plus, we've got Friday's top sounds. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, while there may not be any more games on the field, I'll tell you why this week is huge in the NFL. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
More SportsCenter All Night. Next.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just around the corner, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions. It's been an incredible football season, and Adam Schefter has been there each week giving you all the news, inside scoops on the happenings throughout the league. But with the season now over, the Adam Schefter Podcast and Granger are bringing you a one-of-a-kind episode highlighting the greatest moments this year had to offer. From amazing last-second finishes to championship performances, Adam will cover it all. So be sure to listen to the Adam Schefter Podcast, presented by Granger, wherever you get your podcasts. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, oh, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
You're locked in the Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio and the app. Chris Sylvester with you. Hope you're enjoying the start to this holiday weekend. Well, Friday, 5 NHL games on the docket. Good one in New York. Penguins visiting the Islanders. And early on, it was all Pens.
Pedersen, his shot was blocked. Rolls right atop the crease. Crosby hunts it down. Finds Raquel. Jams it in and scores. Oh, this line is something else. Raquel, second of the period, second of the game, and the Penguins open back up that 2-goal lead. It's 4-2 with 1:03 to go in the second.
Penguins Hockey Network had the call. 4-2 Pittsburgh in the second, but the Islanders would rally and force overtime. Zach Parise had 2 goals in regulation, and in overtime, going for a hat trick in the win. You bet.
Here a chance for Brock Nelson in tight, quick pass, they score! Zach Parise in his 1200th game in the National Hockey League gives the Islanders their first lead of the night. It is 5-4 New York with just under 3 minutes to go.
Islanders Radio Network. Islanders come on back to beat the Penguins 5-4. New York visits the NHL's best Boston Bruins later on today. Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild Friday night. This one would head to a shootout, and Matt Boldy would wear the hero's cape on Friday in Minnie.
Here's Boldy, wide right, towards the top of the circle, now in the slot, waiting to his backhand, he scores!
Huge goal for Minnesota, taking the lead in that department.
Slow the pace down, deep to his backhand, Hunter fluffed down, and Boldy lifted it past his glove. It's his first ever NHL shootout attempt. Gustafsson out to Greenham. Johnson in the slot to his backhand. Gustafsson makes the blocker save, and the Wild win.
Minnesota in a shootout takes care of Dallas 2-1. They move 8 games above 500 with the victory. Blackhawks Senators opening minute of action. Patrick Kane lights the lamp.
Now Domi Tolo's puck, put it in front of the net. Kane shoots, he scores his first goal in 7 games. And his first point on this Canadian road trip. Happens 44 seconds into the first period. For Kane, that's his 10th goal on the year. From Domi, gives the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead.
4-3. This one would also go to overtime. Then Chicago wins north of the border. Elsewhere on the ice, regulation wouldn't cut it between the Rangers and Oilers Friday. And off we went to a shootout. Rangers erase a 4-1 deficit and win 5-4. Here's Friday's top sounds with Steve Lennox.
Number 4.
Chris, NBA All-Star Weekend underway in Salt Lake City Friday night. Rising Stars game heard here on ESPN Radio. Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings with a big 3 for Team Powell.
Here's Nembhard dribbling inside the arc, outside to Murray. Sidestep 3 for the win. Got it! Team Powell wins 40-25. Keegan Murray with the game-winning 3.
Number 3.
NHL Friday night. Islanders called it a comeback at home against the Penguins. Third period, Zach Parise with the game winner and the call from the Islanders Radio Network.
Here a chance for Brock Nelson in tight, quick pass, they score! Zach Parise in his 1200th game in the National Hockey League gives the Islanders their first lead of the night. It is 5-4 New York with just under 3 minutes to go.
Number 2.
Back to the Rising Stars game in Salt Lake City. Jose Alvarado of the New Orleans Pelicans hitting from downtown. Again, the call from ESPN Radio.
Alvarado into the front court. Alvarado dribbling. Alvarado on the left, gets to the corner, defended well by Grimes to Matherin. Matherin gets into the corner to Alvarado, floating straight for the win is good! Jose Alvarado and Team Powell winning the Jordan Rising Stars.
Number 1.
And the celebrity game kicked off night number 1 of the NBA All-Star Weekend. DK Metcalf with the throwdown for Team Dwayne. The call, ESPN TV.
Watch out from the frame. We got Zion Williams.
Oh, say it with your chest. DK, the dunking machine.
Well, still ahead. The 2023 NBA All-Star Weekend tipped off Friday with the Celeb Game and Rising Stars Game, plus an offensive guru on the move in the NFL. This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, a pitching clock, bigger bases, limited defensive shifts. I'll tell you what the new rules mean for baseball fans. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The top headlines are next on Sports Center All Night.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Tomorrow on ESPN Radio, Team LeBron and Team Giannis go head-to-head in the NBA 72nd NBA All-Star Game in Salt Lake City. The NBA All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Indeed.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micro-modal fabrics with 4-way stretch. And no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, I bought one pair of loungewear and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
Justin Fields in reference to Chicago and the weather. Yes, it is very difficult to adjust to it, especially with the wind. That's what I found out. It's hard to stay warm in that weather. I hope we get a dome. He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. My wife is from Chicago, and she can't stand the cold, especially when you start talking about January and February. That cold smack you in your face, Carlin.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. New Orleans Pelicans star C.J. McCollum.
And I feel for the next generation of players that have to face these types of players, you know, the footers with skill sets, the footers that can shoot. This is a wild time for sports in general, but specifically for basketball, the adaptation of the athlete is unlike anything we've seen.
Wow, I think you just convinced me. Aliens are indeed shapeshifters, and they just shapeshift into basketball and football players, because why not?
The C.J. McCollum Show. Listen wherever you get your podcast. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
You have dogs?
Nah, how many dogs?
If you had dogs, have you? Oh,
No.
you never had dogs?
Yeah.
You're not like a animal.
But here's the
pet
problem.
friendly?
I grew up in New York City.
Yeah, so it's
I
not-
live in New York City. If you get a dog, you are now
Gotta
in the
commit.
coop collecting business.
Yeah,
so
so
the
the reason I asked is because I was happening to be looking through my phone in one of these things, social media things, something popped up where a dog was literally licking a baby's face and licking all. That's so gross. And Jay said, "Oh, that's so cute." I'm like, Jay,
You know what dogs?
that's
call
the
you?
problem with you.
Well, until I recognized that the baby was like 6 weeks old.
That's so gross.
I thought it was a baby, like, you know, like a year-old.
That
like
baby's
a
going to
year-old.
be immune to disease for
That
the
is
rest of
like
the
a year-old kid.
Jay, the dog's mouths are cleanest thing on earth. Whatever.
GJ and Max. Followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. Do you feel like your streaming subscriptions are out of control? Why not start the new year off right and cancel the ones you're not using? Enter the Rocket Money app. Rocket Money organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. From there, decide whether to keep it or cancel it with just a tap. To find out more about Rocket Money, go to rocketmoney.com/gameday or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Rocket Money, the finance app that works for you.
The rising stars of the NBA take center stage in Salt Lake City.
Rebound team, Derek lining up for a giant jam. Trey Murphy. Murphy got up high and threw it down hard. Team Darren within one.
Looking ahead to the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to play in that All-Star game on Sunday. It is important to him as a captain and as somebody who just takes the responsibility really seriously.
Eric Bieniemy becomes the Commanders' new offensive coordinator.
Fair or unfair, it feels like he's going to now be the play caller and will do so without the shadow of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
And the NFL QB carousel continues.
The Saints aren't going to make him wait. The Panthers aren't going to make him wait. Like, there are plenty of teams right now this weekend that will make Derek Carr feel valued.
This is Sports Center all night. He's done for the week.
Right, it's over.
He used it all up.
Shout out to our bosses. Y'all already know the request is coming in.
Urgent care on speed dial.
Well, Sports Center all night is on the air. ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. A multitude of ways to listen. Chris Sylvester with you. Glad you're with us. And while the sports schedule in itself wasn't all that loaded on Friday, still lots to break down, including some significant coordinator movement in the NFL. Eric Bieniemy headed from KC to DC. Our experts will weigh in on why that move was made. Plus, the quarterback chatter heats up among NFL signal callers that could be on the move this offseason. And we'll check in on Tiger Woods at 1 over. Would he make the cut at this weekend's Genesis Invitational? But we start with the opening events at the 2023 NBA All-Star Weekend from Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City. On Friday night, the Celebrity All-Star Game and Rising Stars Game tipped off the weekend. Lots of stars on the floor for this year's Celebrity Game. Star-studded coaching staffs, too. Team Dwayne, led by Dwayne Wade, and Team Ryan, led by Utah Jazz owner Ryan Smith. And when it comes down to the Celebrity Game, there's usually a lot of bad basketball. But Seattle Seahawks star wide receiver DK Metcalf set the tone early that this year's game would have a different feel.
Watch out from the train. We got Zion Williams.
DK, the dunking machine.
Well, you heard and saw that on ESPN Friday night. Big night in the celeb game for Metcalf, but he wasn't the only one clear for takeoff.
Walls was wide open, but Osborne raised up. Okay, that's a 4-point dunk and put a little muscle in his hustle that time.
Everett Osborne, an actor and former D1 Hooper at UT Rio Grande Valley, showing out. And so was ESPN NBA analyst and NBA champion Richard Jefferson for Team Ryan.
2 minutes to go. RJ! Oh!
This man is a week off from the job.
He's done for the week.
Right, it's over.
He used it all up.
Shout out to our bosses. Y'all already know the request is coming in.
Urgent care on speed dial.
Always fun to get Richard Jefferson in the mix. Now, this one would come down to the wire. A half-court make from WWE superstar The Miz would go on in to tie the game and send it to overtime. But upon replay review, the shot was released just a tad late. So Team Dwayne survives 81-78 over Team Ryan. Big game for DK Metcalf. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks lead to MVP honors. And maybe some 10-day contract consideration. All right, I don't know. But he looked pretty good. After the game, he joined ESPN's Cassidy Hubbard.
A 20-10 performance and just athleticism throughout with all of your dunks. What does it feel like to be named MVP?
I mean, it feels great. I ain't never thought I was going to win MVP. I just came here to, hoop around, but, it feels great. I thank y'all.
And it was a fourth quarter comeback. And we saw your face after the Miz hit that shot. What was this experience like for you?
Man, I thought he made it, and I thought it counted. But, it was just a great all-around experience. Just play, be on the court with some of these guys and, a lot of legends that played in the NBA. Man, it was just a blessing all around.
From the Celebrity Game to the Rising Stars Game. This Friday night, NBA All-Star Weekend feature was played as a 3-game mini tournament among 4 teams comprised of NBA rookies, sophomores, and NBA G League talent. First up, it was Team Pau, led by Pau Gasol, against Team Darren, led by Darren Williams. And early on, the folks in Salt Lake City got a preview of what Saturday's dunk contest might look like.
Jaden Ivey misses short on the 3. Rebound, Team Darren. Loading up for a giant jam. Trey Murphy got up high and threw it down hard. Team Darren within 1.
You heard that one on ESPN Radio Friday night. This was close early, but then Team Pau started to pull away, and Sacramento Kings rookie Keegan Murray was on target.
Here's Nembhard dribbling inside the arc, outside to Murray. Sidestep 3 for the win. Got it! Team Pau wins 40-25. Keegan Murray with the game-winning 3.
So a 40-25 win for Team Pau. And here's what Coach Gasol had to say after on ESPN Radio.
Pau, congrats on the win. How fun and game-changing was the speed of Jose Alvarado and Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are amazing. I told them, if you bring the energy, you bring the competitiveness, and Jose's, I mean, that's what he does, right? So he got us going. And Ivy also got us going too, attacking the rim. You got to be in attack mode in these games, right? And that's why we won the game.
The speed was exciting, but also eyes were on the number 1 draft pick here, and he lived up to it. What about Paolo? What stood out to you?
Special talent, right? I mean, he's got incredible size, skills. You see the ball handling. You see the shooting, the step backs, the threes. I mean, he's got a complete package to be a superstar in this league.
I'm talking to a legend in you, also someone who has played with other legends, I think with Kobe Bryant. All of these young players here are talented and have big potential. But in your experience, what is it that differentiates those who become the best of the best and the most elite in the NBA?
Well, the ones that are totally and fully committed to it, right? The ones they're going to go all in, and they're going to put in the work and do whatever it takes to be the best that they can be. The ones that come up every day to work, pushing themselves, pushing each other, pushing their teammates, those are the ones that are special. And let's see if these young guys, some of them can do that.
You know, these all-stars, it's so interesting seeing the scope of stars here. Some have been 7 or 10-time all-stars. And then you got guys like these, some of them it's their first time. What made it special for you, your first all-star appearances?
Well, I mean, this is a celebration of basketball, right? So when my first all-star appearance, even as a rookie, on the rookie and sophomore game, was in Philadelphia. And then I went to Atlanta and played that game. And it's beautiful to be a part of this. You know, you're tired of it. The season is rough. I'm not saying that, but being part of this is special. And you're amongst the best in the league. You want to be amongst the best in the league. And then once you make it to the big game, now that's the level that you want to be in. And that's what you want to work for and strive for.
So Team Pau took care of business, but who would face his squad in the next round? Team Joakim, led by Joakim Noah, would square off against Team Jason and Jason Terry. And early on, it was all Team Joakim.
High rebound, Mobley's got it at the free throw line. He is muscled by Sissoko, no whistle, and now passes into the front court to Giddey. Great bounce pass to Mobley running the floor for the slam.
Now that slam put Joakim's team up a dozen, but Team Jason would rally, and another dunk contest participant would make things interesting.
Here's Scoot passing to McClung, corner 3, yes! Mac McClung with the 3. Team Jason is down 1.
So Mac McClung, who recently inked a deal with the Sixers, had the deficit at just 1. But with the target score within reach, Quentin Grimes would tee up a triple.
Here's Grimes. He goes for the win, rises from 3, and he buries it. Quentin Grimes of the Knicks with a triple to win it. Team Joakim 40, Team Jason 32. It'll be Team Joakim and Team Pau for the title.
So that did set us up for a Team Pau, Team Joakim final. And in the finals, Scotty Barnes was shining early.
Here's a high lob to Scotty Barnes. Somehow got way up there and gathered enough to be able to get it in.
That put Team Pau up 5 early, but Team Joakim, they'd respond. And it's Quentin Grimes again from long range.
Former Houston Cougar. We had him bunch in the Final Four that was considered the whole NCAA tournament. Another three.
Grimes dropping the triple to tie the game at 16.
I was going to say Kelvin Sampson misses him, but it doesn't appear they do. They just keep rolling, the Houston Cougars.
Now, Grimes had 12 of his team's first 16 points. The teams were deadlocked at 16. Got a target score of 25 here. Team Pau up 22-20 when Jose Alvarado would go for the dagger.
Alvarado into the front court. Alvarado dribbling. Alvarado on the left, gets to the corner, defended well by Grimes to Matherin. Matherin gets into the corner to Alvarado, floating three, so the win is good! Jose Alvarado and Team Pau winning the Jordan Rising Stars.
So Alvarado hits the winner, and Team Pau takes the Rising Stars game championship trophy, 25-22 over Team Joaquim in the final. Jose Alvarado, the Rising Stars game's MVP, and after it was all said and done, he jumped on ESPN Radio.
Guys, I had to pull Jose away from Brandon Ingram. Zion is here lining up, waiting to talk to Jose. As he daps him up right now, Zion, how you?
I feel great. My boy called it. He said he was going to do it. He delivered. Respect. Hey, gamer, go home.
What does it mean to you that so many teammates, former, current, are here and are just like, I want to show love to you in this moment as the MVP of the Rising Stars game?
Oh, man, it means a lot. You know, this is more than basketball to me, and that's just my brothers. You know, they're part of my family. And, you know, for them to come out, you know, take time out, you know, this is a long season basketball, to come out to see me play. And, you know, it's just an honor. You know, it's just a tremendous speechless, and I'm thankful they're here.
This is beautiful. There are players, your teammates are lined up. They roll deep. Brandon, possible! That's Brandon Ingram. Everybody's taking turns. Why do you think people are so happy for you? What is it about who you are as a person, a player, and a teammate?
I care. You know, I'm a big carer. I care for people. It's not about me. You know, it's about, you know, this organization, the team. I'm a human being at the end of the day. So I care about these guys. They're not just basketball players to me. So, you know, I think they think that they feel that energy, and they give me the same energy.
Speaking of energy, what was the energy that you felt stepping into that game-winning three-point shot that you hit?
Oh, no, I wanted it. I said I needed the ball, and they got me the ball, and I knew I was going to make it. So soon I could let it go.
You know, when you think about your career journey and all that you've done to be steady and be great in the league, and now to come to All-Star and win MVP at the Rising Stars game, what is the significance of this moment in your overall journey?
Oh, man, it's tremendous. I don't even know how to really explain it. You know, I got my family behind me, my brothers and my daughters, so this is something I'm gonna cherish for life, and man, this is special for me. You know, I know it's something different for me, but man, I'm happy. You know, I love it. You know, it's something that I can really say that I did before, and tell everybody anything is possible. You know, I wasn't that guy everybody looked up to, and I wasn't that guy everybody, you know, counted that it was gonna make it to the NBA. I'm in All-Star weekend and I got MVP, so you know, I don't care about them no more.
That's so well said. I see the tears in your eyes. I see your family lining up. I think that's the beautiful way to leave this. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you, fellow New Yorker as well.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, NBA All-Star Weekend continues with State Farm All-Star Saturday night. Radio coverage presented by Indeed begins tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Hey, still ahead, we'll check in on Tiger Woods at the Genesis Invitational. Plus, Eric Bieniemy is on the move. The Chiefs' two-time Super Bowl champ offensive coordinator headed to Washington, where he'll call plays for the Commanders. Plus, one of baseball's biggest stars said he plans on opting out of his deal after the season. This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why the last 23 games of the Lakers season will define Anthony Davis' Laker future. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is Sports Center All Night.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number? Not me. Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com/sports. Identity theft protection starts here.
This morning on ESPN Radio. It's a critical showdown in the Big Ten. Illinois heads to Bloomington, Indiana to face the 14th-ranked Hoosiers. Coverage begins at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Greeny.
I believe if he announced today his retirement, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Did you miss Canty and Carlin?
The MVP of Super Bowl 57 is with us. Patrick, take us through the controversial play at the end with the penalty.
As you watch, he definitely tugged him to kind of get him out of the way of where he wanted to go, and that's the reason the throw was so off target. I'm not going to be throwing it that far off target if not a little bit of tugging going on, and that call went our way, where I think a few other calls throughout the game went their way, and that's how football usually happens.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Hey, y'all, this is Marty Smith.
And I'm Ryan McGee. And we are
Marty and McGee. Check us out every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
Of course, we'll be all over the biggest news in the world of sports.
And plenty of that Marty and McGee type stuff.
Like the Hillbilly Headlines.
And some of the craziest callers you've ever heard in your life.
It might be the only reason to wake up that early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's Marty and McGee.
From 7 to 10 Eastern.
On ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just around the corner, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions. It's been an incredible football season, and Adam Schefter has been there each week giving you all the news, inside scoops on the happenings throughout the league. But with the season now over, the Adam Schefter Podcast and Granger are bringing you a one-of-a-kind episode highlighting the greatest moments this year had to offer. From amazing last-second finishes to championship performances, Adam will cover it all. So be sure to listen to the Adam Schefter Podcast, presented by Granger, wherever you get your podcasts. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This is it. Enough dreaming about growing my business online. It's time to get serious about selling in my style, as big as I want to grow, because there's nothing I can't do. It's time to get Shopify.
You go and get it.
Oh, oops. I thought I was just talking to myself there. But heck yeah, I do. It's time to take my business to the next level.
Start selling with Shopify to join the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand. From templates that make site design simple to customizations that let you grow at your pace. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to take your business to the next level today.
This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Sports Center all night. Glad you're with us on ESPN Radio, the ESPN